Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to our next BB Disney All Stars exit interview. We are here with the one and the only Robertoria. Hello, everyone. Hello to the both of you. I haven't been able to say that yet. So how are you guys feeling? How are you guys doing?
Good. If we were gonna get evicted, I'm glad it was right before a live night, not on live night. That would have been more sad.
Would you both
Yeah,
have been evicted? Live
so
nights are your things, guys. You guys like to get evicted on live nights.
That's true. That's true. And Victoria did kill it the last live night, though.
thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm kind of sad though. I feel like I could have won that HOH comp because I had like the entire game down. Like I had all the comp names, and so I saw it and I was like, maybe we could have won that, but who knows?
So one question I'd like to ask is why do you guys think you were evicted the round you were? Why do you think it was you? Why are you guys here with us?
Well, I think because like Lake was working with Jill and it seemed like everyone had their side and it just wasn't with us.
We didn't win the veto. No, I think it's like the macro side of it is like I think we just weren't set up a lot at the beginning, so we were like consistently behind. And I think two of it is like me personally, the only people I knew were like the people who were on prod, um, and then the season 8 people, and like Molly was gone pretty quickly. Um, Rose was like gonna keep an eye out for us, but she didn't want to work with us, so like we don't really have people per se. And then like while we're trying to get to know everyone, some people already know each other, so they can kind of move to that next stage a little bit quicker. And then like I was MIA the first 2 weeks, so like I think we didn't start on the right foot. And then in terms of like actually getting evicted, I think it's just like it was really ready for us to go, but which is fine. We saw what happened to Lake. If Lake was,
So
I just think it's funny because I think like if Lake would have nominated Jeremy and Karen like we were trying to push for, I guess Karen would have won veto. They could have put like Jill up in that place and we could have taken out Jeremy. Like we would have had the numbers, but what it could have should have.
so what um was there anyone during the voting when I mean you guys got voted unanimously? Was there anyone where you guys felt like you thought you might have had their vote and then you just didn't?
I
Was there
didn't
anyone
feel that way
shocking?
with you, Robert.
But with Jeremy, I felt so my understanding of it is everyone knew that we were being evicted. So we got evicted on last Sunday. Everyone knew that if we didn't win veto, we were going. That was my assumption. And then we had a good talk of Jeremy, and it felt like it was decently open.
Yeah, we had to
And
talk on the day that we were getting evicted.
yeah, and then it seemed like once Karen was like, "Oh, Lake said that you guys were pushing my name," which wasn't true. It was like, okay, well, we're probably going. And Lake told us there wasn't a target, but we're like, okay, that probably means that we're the target. And then, the last hour, people are like, oh yeah, Lake just really wants you gone, which half of me is like, okay, that sucks that Lake did that. But the other half of me is like, why are you listening to Lake? And I think, I don't know. I know like Joe was like, I really want to work with you. And then immediately was like, oh, well, Lake wants you gone. And it's like, okay. So I think people just were indifferent about us going over Jen, and Lake was just the thing that pushed it over. But I think they knew before they told us.
Yeah, I will have to say the most shocking moment of the season is when Jill saved us. Like that was like so
That was really
out of touch.
funny.
Yeah, so let's talk about like your kind of like your position in the game because I always and I've asked this to almost every single person. Even though it was the first round, I feel like the first round was such a split vote that people kind of stayed on their side. But I feel like you guys were kind of the only person to like you were in this majority vote, but then you kind of like went to different people when you saved Brian over Sierra, right? So who was your true intention people to work with? Like, what was your strategy in those two votes? I don't know. Those are very different questions. So let's stick with the first one. Who were in the beginning of the game? Who were you guys trying to stick with the most?
I feel like we had some loyalty to season 8, but I feel like once Molly got voted out officially by
Hmm.
an actual vote, I felt like I don't know, I kind of felt like the season went downhill because at least for our games, because Molly was the hero of our season and she her presence was so limited, and I think she really would have stick by us. So I felt like that was a hard hit for us in our game.
think the people that we worked on music video with, we had really good chemistry. And I think it was like a combination of we could use season 8 and use other winners because we had like because there were lines early on that Julia established with like us and Jeremy, but then like I just think we were trying to work with the winners, but then Marcella was exited pretty quickly, and then like Keaton was like, I don't really want to work with winners, and yeah, I'm trying to think who early on. I mean, we really liked Lily. Like, I had a really good conversation with Lily the first time, like the very first HOH. I don't know. And then yeah, the Sierra Brian vote, I think that was just so crazy. Like there was a lot of people saying that, like, oh, it's our time to take out Julia. And then there's other people are like, well, maybe not this time. And it was
Oh,
like,
don't forget the get Julia out chat.
oh my God, that was the my favorite moment because Julia messages us and was like, I hear that you guys are trying to get me voted out. And we write back and I'm like, I don't think so. I was like, thought we established that we weren't gonna like go for other winners. And then I like scroll through my Skype chats and I'm added to one and it's like the get Julia out challenge. And I was like,
My
well,
favorite
I
was when
guess we are.
my favorite part was when Victoria wrote "Mission accomplished" and then she left the chat like 5 seconds later.
Yeah, I think we like I said, I think it goes back to we didn't really have people we like really were close with, and that's why like John Buckley nominated us. That's why Jill nominated us. Jill was, I think, the most. She was the hardest person to like work with in this game because half of it was like her being like, I really want to work with you, and like she did say like, I don't want you guys to go. I want Liz to go over you. But then like the next round, she would be like, okay, well, I'm nominating you guys with my club 33, and I'm not gonna tell you. And then the round after that, she'd be like, why'd you guys nominate me? And it's like, you nominated us twice. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah,
And
and I feel like this. Oh, sorry, and I feel like the same could be said about Buckley as well.
I can't,
Well,
I
mhm.
don't want to say anything bad about people who Michael might be friends with. I have no
You guys,
comment on John Buckley as a human being. As a human being, I'm sure John Buckley is fine. But as a player in this game, I have nothing else to say. So I will not
Yeah,
say
and I will
anything.
say live night was really hard without Robert in the breakout rooms. Basically, everyone was there while Buckley was pretty much yelling at me. So it was a lot. And then Robert said something, and I'm just like I remember he said something. It was so funny.
I came on there for like 20 seconds because I was like, I just stood the tail end of Drop Buckley yelling. Here's my thing. Like, Victoria and I were nominated, I think, 5 times throughout this whole game. And I think the only time I was ever frustrated about being nominated was when Lake told us, I don't have a target after we knew that we were his target. And then Lake told us that we were his target like 20 minutes before. And it was like, you could have told us. Like, I go into these things, there's 20 people, or I guess 21, but there's 20 players. 18 players have to get evicted. You have what? So like simplistically, you have a 90% chance of being evicted. Like, so it doesn't bother me about getting evicted, but it's like if you can't own your moves and you're gonna like I think that's just like A, bad jury management, but B, I don't respect that type of gameplay. Like I think Lake's a great person, but like that was the only time I was ever frustrated. Like even like John Buckley and Jill giving us like stupid reasons while they were nominating us, I was like, whatever. I was like, people have to get nominated. Like I'd rather get nominated at the beginning, have an opportunity at veto than get like backdoored like Marcelo or Lily were. But
Yeah. Yeah, and also I feel
yeah,
like we were huge underdogs this season because multiple people used their Club 33 power on us a lot of times, and
all
it was a lot.
But like, I think the
well,
thing is that
yeah.
like we didn't throw temper tantrums about it. We were just like, okay. And then that's
Yeah, I
what bothered
remember
me
we were
about
kind of
Jen.
saying maybe that's why they continued to nominate us because we were pretty like calm about it, but it's like
Yeah. Of
I
like,
don't
do I
know.
need to start flipping tables over? And that's what frustrated me so much with John Buckley. It's like you pushing our name multiple times. Like you established you didn't want to work with us. We tried to work
And
with
he
him.
also
Like I
found us annoying as well. Don't forget
yeah,
that.
I think I find us annoying as well. So I can't fault him for that. But it was just very much like I'm not gonna throw a fit because someone nominates me. That's the game. That's what it is. So we didn't really want John Buckley to go at first. We kind of did that for Rose. And then knowing what happened and seeing the little bit that I saw, I was like, okay, we actually made the right move nominating him. I don't like get it why people I get it, it sucks. And I get it for a little bit of an upsetting time, but I don't think you should be yelling at it because like when John Buckley nominated us, we didn't scream at him. We were like, okay, we're like fair. just if you're gonna nominate us because you think we're only giving you one word responses, cool.
And we even talked to Jeremy about it before we went. Like, that wasn't a great way to handle it. Like, and I also felt like Buckley didn't really take a lot of accountability over it, and he just used "I didn't take my meds," which seemed like a pretty lame excuse. And it was just like he was just covering up and not really saying, "Yeah, I messed up," even though I didn't take my meds. It's not an excuse, but I just want to let you know, and he didn't do that. So yeah.
Yeah. And live night was a very interesting night for you guys, especially Victoria won her first individual comp. Woohoo. And yeah, and then you guys, that was your first time winning HOH. You guys won several HOHs last season. I feel like this was your first HOH going into it. But let's talk about you guys as a pair. So last season, we kind of just were like, oh, by the way, you guys are a team now. Here you go. You guys kind of work together. But obviously you didn't know your strengths and weaknesses. This season going into it, we told you you guys are working together. So do you guys feel like you play differently this time than last time?
Yeah, I have to say, like Robert and I, our heads were like in two different places. Like with the Julia, but like there was some times when we kind of butt heads, and Robert was like, "Hey, you shouldn't say this," and I was like, I kind of want to say my own thing, but I feel like it was kind of hard because at the first few weeks he was with school, which I completely understand, but I don't think we were as in sync as we were last season.
Yeah, I think what was difficult, I think what was easy last season is we both were evicted in similar manners and like we both felt the same way. Like we went through our list of people and I think we both felt the same way about almost everyone. So it was really easy to just like keep going. And I think we had half the game to make our own relationships. Whereas this game, like you had to make a relationship with both of us. And I think that was the difficult thing. Because I remember like I really wanted to work with Blake. And I know like you were kind of worried, which like your intuition was right. And I think there was a couple, like I was trying to work with Julia, but like I don't know, I think Victoria, you were kind of like, she's not doing anything. She's giving us nothing. And I was like, yeah, this is true. I will say I think like Jen Keaton and Lily, that was a really good strong alliance because I think we vibed with them really well. But I think it was just harder because I think this time around it was like you had to an established relationship with both of us. It wasn't, we didn't have the opportunity to do it one on one. And I think that made it a lot harder. And I think too, just like not being able to like pick our comps when we wanted to play, like we had to, we were kind of like locked into if you're playing for HOH or veto, like we couldn't really play to our strengths that way. Cause I think that was our biggest strength is we could move around who was playing HOH or veto. And this time I didn't have that option. So we kind of got locked in. But I will say, I think it was pretty funny. They always kept nominating us when it was my turn to play for veto. And I was like, great. I was like, I shine when I'm nominated.
Yeah, so you guys were a very like big target from the beginning, but you kind of saved yourself a few times with the vetoes. Do you know why you guys were a big target? Do you know what happened?
Okay, so I think that now knowing what I know, I think John Buckley was upset that I think the whole like get Julia out group, I don't even remember who was in it. I think it just got someone leaked that we were all in there. I don't know who.
I think it could have been Jeremy, but I don't think we'll know until the end of the game.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like that makes the most sense. So I think that was why. I mean, so John Buckley was like, "Oh, you guys are giving us one word responses," and I was like, "We're not," but okay.
Like if
I
you
was
look
like,
through the conversations, he's the one that's giving one word responses.
Mhm.
But
like,
other
well, I was so
people,
grumpy when he would say that. I went there, I kept screenshotting. I was not forwarding messages because I learned my lesson at that point. I was screenshotting them and
message
sending
gate
them to
2023.
Victoria. Sending them to Victoria. I was like, he's giving us one word responses. What the hell?
Yeah, and also it
Jill.
really, I'm sorry, also it really
Oh
annoyed
yeah.
me that he said we were giving one responses when it was the other way around. And I told him that very calmly, and he was just like that behavior was just like the most worst thing, which is why I feel like after the orgs I'm doing for the summer, like I need to take a long break because that was a lot. And don't forget the jury
Yeah,
pool
it
too.
I think that's a stupid reason to nominate people. If it was like, hey, I just haven't connected with you like I've connected with other people, or hey, it's really hard connecting with two of you because I think you two have different agendas, nominating you because it's difficult to form a working relationship. Cool. I've been like, okay. Just saying I'm nominating you because you're giving me one word responses. It was like, okay, I guess. And then Jill, I thought was really surprising because she had like a really good conversation. And then what frustrated me with her and why like working with her was always like, I want to keep you far away, was because she would just like blow up at us and be like, her that you're saying this, and this. And it's like, you're not even giving us an opportunity to talk to you about it. You won't tell us who said it, so there's no way disproving it. And it's
Oh yeah,
like,
remember like when we were about to go, like we were asking her, like, can you please be honest with us? And she was like, crickets.
yeah, she left us on red. I asked her, I was like, hey, like we're being evicted. Like, can you just tell us who told you all of these? Like that we were like pushing your name and all of this, and she didn't. And
Yeah,
I was like,
like we
well,
we end up realizing it was Rose anyways, and then we kind of had a little disagreement with Rose, and it felt a bit unfair, at least to me. Like, and I think Robert, not to speak for him, but I felt like it was unfair to both of us because we tried our best to give her justice by getting Buckley gone, but she was mad that we kept Keaton safe. However, we had to we felt it was smart to keep Keaton safe because he saved us in a previous round. So it just kind of upset me like that she felt that way. And
Mhm.
yeah, I mean that kind of yeah. So like, I don't know. But getting nominated, I don't understand. And I think once you're nominated twice, it's just easy for people to like the whole Club 33 thing was just easy.
oh, we're still recording.
But the I think
Oh, I'm
yeah,
here.
the
I'm just going off camera.
you're good. I think the Rose situation, the not frustration that I have with it, it's just I understand like she was upset that we saved Keaton after we were like, okay, like we'll work to get the people, we'll work to avenge you because you're our friend. But like there was nobody trying to put us in alliances. We were trying to form alliances and like I know a lot of people are frustrated with Keaton, at least from what I can see in the jury chat. I haven't really kept up with it since we've been added, but a lot of people are mad at Keaton because they felt like Keaton was like using us, Lily and Jen. And whether or not he was, I don't, but like Keaton at least like was like, hey, I see an opportunity to form an alliance with these people that nobody really wants to work with. Let's get something together. And then we were able to make it decently far. I think that's what I think is funny is that people are like faulting Keaton and using that against him, but it's like he saw a really good opportunity and like he chose to work with people that nobody wanted to work
Yeah, and I
with.
also
But
feel like Keaton's definitely a contender to win this game. Like, don't sell him short. And what I find so funny is that he keeps on saying, I don't take notes or I'm not trying to win, and yet he's at final three. So I don't know. I feel like maybe that was strategy. I hope he can like confirm it if he makes final two.
Okay, so you brought up about jury. I know we've already had some interesting jury experiences already, and but what are you guys thinking as a jury, as a juror, right? So I don't really believe in bitter jurors and stuff like that. So how are you guys voting as a juror?
I would say, like, from my perspective, like it's for both of us, we were very, I don't know, pleased is not the right word, but there were two people that we were like, oh, let's hope they're not in final two against each other. And now there's no way for that to happen.
Who are
I
those
like all the
people?
people, Jill and Lake, just because don't, I think they played great games, don't get me wrong, but I think they had really rough jury management when it came to us. I don't appreciate that Lake was lying to our faces when we were being evicted. Like, dude, like that's the cool thing about Big Brother. You know who's going home. It's not the hour before, like it happens in Survivor. You know who's going home. So I don't appreciate that. And then I didn't necessarily appreciate Jill a ton of times in the game when she would just be like straight up lying to us. Or I think just her being like, I know that you're trying to get me evicted and this, and you're doing that. But then her not giving us an opportunity to like talk about it or disprove it. And like we had like hour-long conversations, never gets brought up. And it's time to nominate. Well, I'm nominating you because of this. Club 33 didn't tell us she was nominating us, nominates us. Well, I did it because of this. And it's like, okay, like we're very upfront with you about things and you're not showing us the same respect. So I think both played great games, but not games I respect. For me personally,
Yeah, I feel the same way.
yeah, I think Jeremy and Karen are playing amazing games. Like not being, I don't even know who's nominated this round, I guess, because we're at Final Four, right? Them being able to walk into Final Four and not ever be nominated in a game of 20, I think is very impressive. If you have the ability to just rise the middle and not have to get your hands dirty and not have to stress about being nominated, more power to you. I think I'm always a little bit more biased towards the people I worked with. So I feel like for me, Jen and Keaton, I think probably have played louder games, flashier games, whereas Karen and Jeremy have played more quieter games. But I think I am biased to an either Keaton or Jen win personally.
Yeah, like I think my fave moment of the season was when Jen said friend Viper. Like that was like mind
No.
blowing. I really respected her for that. And I know it upsetted some people like Jill, but I felt like that was a smart move for her for Jen to say, and she got to go to exile. So I think it was a perfect time to say that.
It's just isolated. I think what's cool about Jen is she was very loud and it was a target since the beginning, kind of like us. So I think it's really impressive that because she's HOH, so she's in the final three. I think I think that's cool that she's had to play like that. Like that's impressive in its own way. But I don't know. I think all four played great games. It's really fun. I mean, people are going to be mad and they're going to be bitter because they told lies and whatnot. And like, is it frustrating that Jeremy was like filling Lake's head with lies? Yes. But is it more frustrating that Lake blindly listened to him and didn't do what was best for Lake, did what was best for Jeremy? I'm
Honestly,
more
I feel like
frustrated with that.
If Jeremy makes
They're
final
good.
two, I feel like I feel like they're gonna win like unanimously because everyone's impressed by Jeremy, and I can't blame them.
Yeah, I think people are just more frustrated with Jen and Keegan because Jen and Keegan had to get people out. And that's what like going back to John Buckley frustrated with John Buckley. John Buckley was mad that we nominated him, but it's like we have to nominate people. Like if it's not you, it's gonna be someone else. Sorry about your life. And that's why like Keaton, I think like Rose is mad at Keaton because Keaton nominated her. We all know that had a good shot at winning. Like she's
Yeah,
good at
like she
comps,
could have
she's a
really
good
won.
player.
And like since
Everyone
we're
wants
talking
her.
about Rose, like the fact that we know that she was the one who was telling Jill things and then she got upset at us because we did what was best for our game and we also got someone who was lying to her face out. It just felt very like I love her as a person, like I consider her my sister, but like that was just not it. Like I just did not like that at all.
Yeah. I think she's just doing what she thought was best for her game. But like we were huge advocates for her to stay to the point where like I think it was gonna start hurting our game because we were like, no, like right, we talked to Lily, we talked to Jen, we're talking to Keaton, like we tried to make it so she wouldn't even get nominated. But what can you do about it? I think people just made early deals early on because they were already acquaintances, already knew each other, and I just don't think we had that ability.
Yeah, but I feel like we should still be proud because we didn't really know we only knew Prod in season 8 and we still did fairly
I don't know
well.
how the fuck we made it to final seven.
Like I
I
thought we were
was
gonna be pre-juror, like not gonna lie.
So you guys know I have all the love for the both of you. But when we did a cast assessment, we had to go through each person and put a placement for each of you. I put you guys as drum roll 15th. So you guys should be really, really proud that you made it all the way to 7. Because it was way better than what I thought you guys were
that's where
gonna
I would put
do.
us. I would have put us at 15 or 16. I think yes, I mean, I don't know. Karen just beasted out that veto, but just imagine if she didn't and then we would have won it. I don't know what would have happened. But there's just again, I don't think it's necessarily I think I don't really happen. Good conversation about it. I think it's just you just gravitate towards the people that you already know. Because look at us. Who
Yeah.
did we initially work with? The people that we know. It's just that's how it is. It's you can't do anything about it. I think we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm happy that we made it as far as we did. I'm happy that we didn't like make outrageous deals with Flake for him to he was never gonna save us. So I'm glad that we didn't sacrifice our integrity.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't plead to Lake because I feel like Lake already had his mindset.
Yeah.
So
And then he told Karen and Jeremy that we were trying to nominate, that we were trying to get Blake to nominate them. And it's like, no, we didn't even say that. So it didn't
exactly.
matter. It didn't matter if we would have said it or not.
Okay. And then real quick, do you guys have any regrets that you made that you have made in this game?
Do
I
you want to go
don't.
first?
I don't. Like I don't there's nothing. I think we played everything to the best of our abilities. I think I wish I would have been able to dedicate more time to the first 2 weeks because I think that would have set us up a little bit better. So I guess that's my regret. But I knew I was going to be busy during those times. So Yeah, I don't think I really have any game
Yeah, I feel
regrets.
like the only thing I could possibly regret is maybe the jury disagreement I had, but other than that, I think it was we did the best we could.
You
Yeah,
guys
I was
did
happy with
do
it.
great. Okay, so kind of speed round questions. We kind of have a few evictions after you, so we're just gonna go based on final four.
Hmm.
Who do you think right now is gonna win the game? If you had to bet your next paychecks on it, who's winning this game?
I would say Jeremy.
Yeah, I would probably say Jeremy.
Also, can we please talk about how Jeremy was number one in that chart thing and we just let them slide?
But it all the time. We were always like Jeremy and Karen need to be nominated. Jeremy, we remember we talked about Jeremy being a target at
Yeah,
Live
like we
Night, but
wanted to get them out, but it's
Also,
like
let's
nobody.
actually no, wait, hold up. I was almost done this. Let's talk about that because Victoria said, let's target Jeremy at live night. And then Robert goes and says, no. And then you guys won
Oh yeah.
HOH. And now why did you guys change your mind? Because in the jury chat, I also saw you make a comment saying, oh, we should have targeted Jeremy and Karen, but it never seemed like you guys did. Um,
okay, please hear me out. So actually we had because Robert was going to an airplane somewhere in Florida, I think,
true,
and
yeah.
I just didn't like we just discussed something like we're just gonna do this. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like trust his instinct, which I think was probably for the worst, sorry. But I
I'm
think
glad we
like
got Buckley out. Like that's
I'm
what
glad we
super
got Buckley
important.
out, but like for the sake of my mental health, I feel like that was not worth it, to be honest.
Was worth it. We got it out. Okay, so that is a good question. So here is, I think, the paradox, and we probably like in hindsight should have been like, okay, Jeremy and Karen go up. But going into live night, we have John Buckley, who question mark, who we know that would probably keep most of the cast over us. We know that we're at the bottom of Jill's list because she's going off at us every other round. We know John Farrell has no intention of working with us because John Farrell didn't even tell us about Club 33. We asked him about the Club 33. He told us he wouldn't nominate us the previous round. He's like, oh, if you save me, I won't nominate you. Nominated us. So that was like three people right there. And then Blake, super wishy-washy. So I think the issue in my head was if we nominate a Jeremy Karen and then like one of them wins veto, we would probably put up one of those people in replacement and that person probably would have went and then we would have just pissed off two more people. I think we had too many people coming after us, but then it's the whole paradox of it, like we already have people going after us, what's one or two more?
Yeah, and I
But
also feel like Jeremy and Karen, they weren't really trying to target us as of yet. So I felt like you said, like Blake,
yeah,
Jill, Farrell, they made it pretty obvious that they were targeting us. So we had to get like we actually made a chat with Robertoria, Jill and Farrell, the plot twist. It'd be really nice if we could like hold our fires and get people who are in the middle, like Jeremy and Karen, but it just didn't work out. So we sadly we had to
yeah,
like, target each other.
I think that's true too. I think we weren't the main targets on Jeremy and Karen's list, but you're right. I mean, it in a world if we would have been able to nominate them, and maybe they don't win veto, one of them goes, it changes the whole game. But then we just have another person coming after us. So who knows?
Um, and then who? So the question was, I did ask the question: who do you think will win? Who do you want to win right now? What if you had to say
I
one
want
person?
Jen to win. Jen is
I
amazing,
do.
such a beautiful human being, and she has been an underdog from the beginning. I want her so badly to win. I know she's smart enough to cut off Jeremy if need be. So I am hoping she can pull through that final HOH, and I'm sending her all the vibes. And if Jen is against anybody other than Jeremy, like I'd really love to vote her, Robert. Just gotta say it.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. No, I definitely Jen to win because I feel like I look back on our season. Obviously, like no one would have expected Victoria and I to win because at the beginning of the season, but felt like our season was very similar to this. They were just a big alliance that were friendly with each other and they were able to take control very early in the game, and we were able to overcome that. So I just think if Jen's able to sit in a final two, I think that would be a really fun win. I think it'd be great to have another woman up there.
I would love that.
Yeah,
Would you imagine 3 women on the winners wall?
yeah. Yeah, I would really, I think for me, just Jen. Also, I just think Jen has played her game with a lot of integrity. I mean, maybe she was selling us and we don't selling us under, and maybe she was pushing and telling a bunch of lies, but I appreciated the level of integrity that she had with us.
Yeah.
And
But I wanted to ask Robert, do you think like by them voting out us instead of Jen, was that the right move for their game?
No, I think in my mind, I truly think Jen is better at comps than both of us. I think them getting Jen out was, I think they realistically should have evicted Jen over us, just because too, we went into that jury chat. I think if we were up against anyone, maybe Keaton, I think Keaton would have been our only chance of winning. Anyone else would have won over us, just based off of what those jurors had the lovely
Yeah, the
things to
jury
say
chat
about
was a
us.
lot too. Like once we saw the messages of what people said, Robert literally told me like maybe we shouldn't have looked at that chat.
I was like, should not have scrolled up. But I messaged the people who I had issues with, and we still have issues, but can't do
yeah,
anything
my
about it.
I controlled F my name too, and when I got into jury, and I wish I didn't. So it's okay.
Yeah, it's just like I was like, oh, I didn't know that we so many people were angry with us because we weren't. I mean, I wasn't even though John Buckley freaked out, I was just kind of like, okay, go away, but I don't have any issues with you. But
Yeah.
I messaged him one on one about some stuff that he said, and he just there's just no
Also, I
accountability in
really
that
appreciate Robert
brain.
defending my honor because Buckley kind of said something that sounded a bit insensitive. He said how he destroyed my ass, and Robert really felt upset about it because like considering the times we're in, like the Black Lives Matter, AAPI, like just all of that, like it did feel a bit personal, but he said it wasn't meant to be that way. So I guess I'll just have to take his word for it. So
So I forwarded messages. I forwarded them to the right person. So that's a win in itself. I just messaged
Mm.
him and I was like, hey, your comments are pretty insensitive that you're saying like talk what you want about game, but you're getting very personal and it feels like you're getting very nasty. And I was like, I don't know you as a person outside of this game. And I was like, but I would just hope that you could just show us some type of respect because you're not showing us respect as human.
yeah,
And he
and I
just
also
was
oh
like,
sorry.
I was just saying he just turned it back
And
on
I
me.
also have to say, if someone is like, in my opinion, if someone is saying like basically talking smack about you in a jury chat and you enter it, like I feel like I get like some like I know about that disagreement I had. I know maybe part of it could have been like a private conversation, but I feel like if you're gonna say something about someone and they end up going in the chat, like you shouldn't be scared if you're gonna get called out publicly because you said it in front of everyone. So that's just my take.
So who do you guys think? You guys know it's Final Four. Jen won the HOH. Who do we think will be the next person evicted?
So it really just depends on veto. So I think it's between Keaton and Jeremy. So I think if Keaton wins veto, Jeremy goes. If Jeremy or Karen wins veto, Keaton goes. I don't know, unless like Karen wins veto and she evicts Jeremy. I think that's in her best. I think that's her best move. I just don't know if you're day one with someone. I don't
Also,
know.
I have to say, if Karen makes final two, I'm not sure if like I can like vote for her because I haven't really seen anything unless she does a great explanation of it. I don't, but other than that, I don't think I could like vote for
I think
her.
what's tough about Karen's, I think everyone is just giving Jeremy all the credit when I feel like things are probably pretty 50-50, but I think Jeremy has more charisma and that's why Jeremy is getting the credit,
And we also
whereas
have to keep in
Karen
mind if
like
a
is
woman
not.
does the same thing a guy does, they usually give the man or a non-binary person the credit more.
I
Like I
just
feel
think in
like
general, like if a woman is up against anyone, they tend
yeah,
to just not get
yeah,
as
that's what I
much
mean.
credit because like yeah. Oh, we'll
Yeah,
see
and
though.
it really does suck. Like a woman could be against anybody and like that the woman has a harder chance of winning. Like we saw it like when we were at the final two, people were pretty harsh. They were more harsh on me than they were on you.
Well, that was the best. I don't like final tribal councils or final finales because people are just so mean and so angry, and it's just like there's not actually $1 million up. It's cool. That was the best. Nobody had anything. The only Crispy was the only one who sassed me. Everyone else sassed you and Evan. I just sat there and I was like, okay.
I feel like Evan got it the worst out of all three of us though.
By far, it was so ridiculous. It was so funny, but I'm glad Evan was a good sport
Yeah,
about it.
but do
It
you
was
feel like if people didn't hear about the rumor he made, do you think he would have won?
I don't know if I've ever told you, Victoria. Do you know who told everyone that rumor and why they all knew about it?
I have no idea who told.
Told all of them when they were getting evicted. I told Trevor when Trevor was getting evicted. I told Trevor we were evicting him, and Trevor was like, "Nobody's told me they're evicting us." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Well, I think they're just scared because Evan's telling everyone that there's this pre-made alliance."
Actually, that was kind of smart because like it actually kind of I feel like that was strategy because it ended up with us being the winners of season 8. And no matter what placement we got in this game, like we will always be a winner of BB Disney. So
No, it's just funny because like
Not to that.
nobody like nobody said like I was the one that pushed this. So like when because like I don't think they signed up for this game and were like, hey, the four of us are gonna work together. I think it's just, hey, we like each other, we're all here. Let's just start seeing what we can do together. So I don't think, and I told Trevor too, I was like, oh, he's saying it's pre-made. Like I agreed with Evan. I was like, I see the picking of the people. I see why you think they're all working together. I would never call it pre-made. But yeah, I told Trevor that as like an offhanded comment. I didn't think anything of it. And then when it got brought up, I was like, oh no, they're gonna like he's gonna be like, oh, he told me, and it was gonna be his whole thing. And he never said anything. And I was just like,
I wonder if Evan knows that you were the
I will go to my grave with it. I don't want to
I'll
tell
keep
Evan
your
that.
secret. That's what org
Yeah.
wives do, I guess.
Anyway, back to this
And
game.
then who do you guys want to see evicted?
Well, I like all of them.
I
That's
think
Gotta say a name. Give me 5 seconds. Just say a name. 5, 4,
Jeremy.
3, 2.
Jeremy.
You guys
I
want Jeremy to
love
be the next evicted? Perfect.
I just think I with Jeremy being evicted, selfishly, I just want them to be in the jury chat so we can like learn about their game in a more unfiltered approach, as opposed to learning about their game, wanting us to still vote for them.
Gotcha. And last question I like to ask everyone: what was your favorite Disney experience? What will you take out of this game?
I would like to start. I think my favorite experience was getting to play with Robert. Probably one of the last few times. Like Robert means so much to me, and the friendships I've made from last season to this season. Like this game was amazing because we played together.
So sweet of you. When I fear. Uh I think just winning the veto comps were really fun because like one of them there was like 9 of us playing and it was like ooh, I mean I really don't think we were like gonna get evicted that round, but it was just fun to beat all those people. It was 9 of us playing and like 5 of us were nominated, I think. So it was like a, not a necessarily do or die the night moves. That's like I love night moves. I've never played it before, but like I used to play chess a lot when I was younger. So it felt like getting a comp that was up my alley. I don't know, winning that first veto win, because I didn't think we would win that. And I thought our era game was going to be over. So I think those were really fun. I think Message Gate was hilarious. I thought it was
Right?
so
Like I feel
funny.
bad for Rose at the time, but it was funny. Like it was funny in a sense, but
Everybody was
also
gonna get mad at her. They were all gonna be mad at me. Um, I was just like so tired and exhausted, and I was just forwarding the wrong messages.
like when
The
that
other
happened. Sorry, like when Message Gate
very
happened, we
good.
were so scared. Like, is Prague gonna punish us? And I was like, why should I get punished? But we're still one, so I was like, oh.
No, no. Honestly, my favorite moment is being the last season 8 people left standing. Granted, there's only 3 of us, but
No.
I was really proud of
And
that.
also, I think another favorite moment of mine was winning my first win in BB Disney history. Like that, I felt like
Yeah,
that made me really happy inside.
You know, I wish we could
as
have
you
been
should be.
HOH longer so everyone could suck up to us, but it
Right?
is
That
what
would
it
have been
is.
so funny.
Yep. Yeah, no, I think outlasting all the other season 8 people. That was fun. But see, I think we just showed again that we were the best season 8 players. We beat them all once, so we beat them all again.
There you go. Well, with that, thank you guys so much for doing this. Thank you for being delayed for me because I
I
can't
mean,
even
thank you
keep up
for,
with time.
you're totally fine. Thank you for, I mean, we've been working on towards this for a week. So thank you for having us. I know this is probably our last until like 20 seasons from now when you do a Winners at War. So when we'll come back.
We'll see how far we get. So let's